Wales with the wind in his sails. He's tipping the scales, Silurian trails, revealing their names while he's lifting their veils. Public as sales, no one exhales. Won't read in the mail, it's not printed in braille. No bonus for sales, the light will prevail. He's telling the tale while he's hot on the trail. Whole nother scale, he's hammering the nail. He's trolling and rolling the camera and showing the standard that's double. Exposing the bubble, removing the muzzle. He's always got trouble, he's fighting the muscle and solving the puzzle. He's taking the fight and he's spreading the light and he's doing it right. Taking dark as the night and he's making it bright and providing insight while he's flooding your eyes like a hare in the headlight.
Check the kids down! Step back, please, don't be arrested. Step back, the press, don't even pick on me. Are you watching this? The press aren't allowed to film.
Injustice is served, collar crime is submerged. Don't be absurd, your vision is blurred. He's seen it occur, still right there on the curb. His iPhone record, he's filming the herd. BLM thugs act like Tom's high on drugs. They wrecking the place, they're smashing the face. He's in with the thick, in with hammers and sticks. Exposing the truth, he's showing the proof. He's trolling and rolling the camera and showing the standard that's double. Exposing the bubble, removing the muzzle. He's always got trouble, he's fighting the muscle and solving the puzzle. He's taking the fight and he's spreading the light and he's doing it right. Taking dark as the night and he's making it bright and providing insight while he's flooding your eyes like a hare in the headlight.
You just don't want to see it there. You just don't want to see the violence. You don't want to see the violence on some of those people. 3 people on a woman.
Support for the vets, pray unless we forget the pain he besets and the truth he projects. He's a victim of threats, but he never regrets. Live stream the upsets, no printing gazettes. He's taken the test, got the pedo's address. No south, east or west, he streams the protest. No news is suppressed, the whole truth is expressed. To insanity test, he's facing arrest. He's trolling and rolling the camera and showing the standard that's double. Exposing the bubble, removing the muzzle. He's always got trouble, he's fighting the muscle and solving the puzzle. He's taking the fight and he's spreading the light and he's doing it right. Taking dark as the night and he's making it bright and providing insight while he's flooding your eyes like a hare in the headlight.
There's 4, 5 on one. There's 2 on a girl. They pinned her to the floor. This one's getting a bully boy tactics. That's from the TSG probably. Sergeant, yeah.
Good evening, Christy.
Hello. Hi. How are you?
Yeah, Kat's going to be a couple of minutes.
Oh, that's okay.
Evening all. If you could all please start sharing. I'll start doing my usual share in a minute. What a weekend. What a weekend. Crackers.
Yeah, it's been amazing. It was amazing on Saturday anyway. I know you went to both, which is so good. I don't know how you managed to get to go to London 2 days running.
Well, it was a bit knackering, actually. Do you mean I had 1 hour's sleep on Thursday night, the Friday night, and then I went up on obviously on Saturday morning. We went at 5 o'clock, didn't we?
Yeah, so, I know. Very early start, wasn't it? For the Honour Oak, the Dishonour Oak pub that likes to have drag queens reading to children.
Yeah, well. There's a few things about what happened that day. Well, we'll go through it later when Kat gets here. But there was 3 arrests that day. The MP was actually on the other side of the road as well, which I didn't know.
Really?
She's the one who snapped. Yeah, what do you expect from Labour, like, to me?
But she was there. I know, because I noticed that the people who live in the area are extremely brainwashed, a lot of them, and there was.
Oh, don't worry. We'll be talking about Karen later.
Oh, there's some. That it's quite concerning, really, because there was a lot of very brainwashed people, and stickers everywhere. The stickers, the Marxist stickers everywhere. The supporting the drag queen stickers all over. And what was the other stickers? Oh, yes. Open the border stickers. Open the border stickers. Just like, I thought.
I know you had a bit of fun, didn't you, at the end of the day?
Well, it took me ages because everyone was going to a pub, weren't they, further away. Obviously, we were not welcome in the Honour Oak. Not that we'd want to spend our money there anyway, our cash. But we walked, didn't we, for quite a while, loads of us. But I was constantly getting lost and at the back because I'm talking to people. I was with a couple of others who were helping remove stickers. We were having fun, yeah. We were pulling them off everything as much as we could, but there were so many, so many. And even when we walked back, there was more put up. So very, very woke area, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, we got, hang on a sec. I'm just trying to sort something out for a minute.
Okay. So, yeah, so it was very eventful. I know we'll talk a bit more about that a bit later on, but, you know, there was a few of us who went up from Cardiff, so that was good. It was good to be with a few people as well, and
Right, well,
met lots of really nice people.
Yeah, what I'm going to do now. Hi, Alicia.
Yeah.
Nice to see you. I'm going to bring Kat on now because I want to know how Liberty Tactics got on with the charity event of their podcast.
Yeah, I know.
Evening, Kat.
Evening, both. Well, I want to know what happened with you as well, but we will talk about that later.
Yeah, we got loads to talk about later, but I want to know about what happened with Liberty Tactics and how the fundraiser went.
It was absolutely superb. I got to be honest. It was really successful. You know, we had a little flat I say little flat, it was actually quite a big flat in Cardiff. And you would have seen the pictures. Jason made like a green screen type of scenario. Obviously, people can see that we're no BBC. 1 minute I was looking at the screen, I was like, where's my face? I was glowing that much from where the lighting was like really thingy. You couldn't even see my features. And then the next minute I looked like I'd been to Turkey for a month. It was funny. I
think it's a good thing that you're not the BBC. We're all happy about that.
Well, it just goes to show that, look, we're real people. We got no funding or anything like that. All we're doing is bringing you the truth. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, but I think regardless anyway, Jason did a brilliant job with the set. And obviously we had Rick behind the scenes from Bristol producing the whole thing. And he did actually go up until 36. So we clocked off about 6 on the Sunday, started obviously midday on the Saturday, went all the way through. Me and Lou clocked off about 6. And then Rick, we were going to play documentaries out till midnight, obviously, to do the full 36. But Rick stayed up for that whole time, bless him. Yeah, he stayed up. He stayed up and he jumped on in between documentaries and stuff. Like, I've got to go back and go through them. The first 3 are already out. So obviously we had 30 guests. I couldn't believe how many guests we had. And I was saying to Lou, I don't know if we've got too many guests now and not enough time. It was like lots more guests than what we had in the previous 2 podcast-a-thons, which was about, I don't know, 18, 19 guests, something like that. So, but we managed to pull it off anyway. Some of them were a bit shorter, you know, 40-minute ones, something like that, you know. And we had 1 or 2 that couldn't make it. So, yeah, we started off 12 o'clock on the Saturday. Who did we start with? Lucia and Richard Gobes.
I was just watching that.
Oh, you just watched it, did you?
Yes, yeah, it was really good, really interesting.
Yeah, he's good, Richard Gobes, and he has got a far reach as well. I think he was banned from YouTube for a week for the good old medical misinformation. That's what had me, that did. That's what kicked me off YouTube a couple of years ago. But they've allowed him back on. But he's got he gets, I don't know, in the tens of thousands of views on his YouTube videos. And he had Kim on about 3 weeks ago. So, you know, that was good. So he came on, obviously, and he did a little video in between. So after he finished our interview, because we haven't got hardly anyone watching because we're so censored. So even though we were live streaming from Rumble, Facebook and YouTube, that YouTube account was literally set up the day before by Rick, because Liberty Tactics have not been on YouTube for about 10 years. So what Richard Gobes did after his interview, he went and just did like a 2-minute video just saying for everyone to come over. So we ended up with like 100 people then watching on YouTube, which was great because, you know, we had Rumble on as well. And obviously people were watching on Facebook Live. We didn't have too many technical issues either, which was good because we didn't think that we were going to last the day on YouTube, never mind Actually, what they've done, Rick said it's not letting him view the live stream on YouTube. He's not had an email to say, oh, you can't, you know, we're blocking this content, because it was like 36-hour video. But it's still not on there. So we don't know what's happening with that. We don't know whether they're making a decision, whether it's processing, because it was such a long video, or whether they're going to go, nah, you're not allowed to have this on there. But at least it stayed up for the duration, though. So, you know, I'm more than happy with that. Like, do you know what I mean? And then we had Kim on as well. Obviously, that was at the opening of the show. And we had Kim on at the end as well. Because this was what it was about. Obviously, raising awareness and raising money for the legal costs of public child protection Wales. That's what the whole thing was about. We had all the guests brought something completely different, which was brilliant, because we don't want the same mindset having interviews with this. You know, we want to see it from all different angles, all different points of view. So we definitely achieved that, because it was people from, you know, different sexualities, different faiths, different views, different beliefs, coming at a different angle. So we covered it all, I think. I think we covered it all in terms of, you know, God, going back to Kinsey and John Money. I played a video during the night for that, because I did a live with Laura Nina last week. And I just thought, well, otherwise I was going to have to go through that Kinsey book, which is horrible. And I hate doing it.
Yeah.
At 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was tired, and I was like, do you know what? I don't want to do it. So I just put that on. I was fresh-faced in that. You can see what I'm saying, and I got John Money as well. So
that was one of my most favourite ones of you. That one, you absolutely smashed it. The way you explained it was just so. It was so good, and it was just spot on. I just loved it. I shared that loads. So well done.
The one with Laura Nina. The one. Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard to listen to.
Like properly, like I did what I could on it, and I'm glad I managed to get it across. But I was a bit concerned, because I know that I can spend so much time on that, and there are a lot of things I left out even. But I still managed to. I watched it back, and I still managed to get most of it. You know, and people look, they're only using me as a starting point from that point of view anyway. They've got to go and have a look themselves, or, you know, it's the same thing with everything, innit? I could be talking out my ass. You've got to go and check these things, make sure that I'm telling the truth, and find the resources. So I knew I had to do that one, because, as we know, not many people, I say not many, it is getting more now, but people still think it's not that bad. It's not that bad. And I'm like, yeah, but you don't understand what you're saying, and you certainly don't understand where it's come from. So that was the point of me doing that Kinsey one, because as uncomfortable and horrible as it is, sometimes the shock factor does work, and it did work in my case, mine, because people were like, I was reading some of the comments, and they were like, oh my God, I can't believe this is actually happening. And they linked it straight to the WHO and UNESCO, which we know is where that education comes from. Do you know what I mean? It comes straight down through there, straight from Kinsey to the sex education in the WHO document, in the UNESCO one of the documents mentions the Kinsey Institute, and obviously you've got the WHO. It's not a direct link to Kinsey's name, but you've got John Bancroft in there, which was the director of the Kinsey Institute for 10 years, and he wrote a book called Sexual Development in Children, I think was the book that was in the bibliography of the WHO documents. So when Kim had that sent to my house, she just bought the book, had it sent to my house, because she knows I'll read it straight away. And all that was in this book was conversations between John and psychologists and stuff, but they were basically just referencing Kinsey's book. So that's how I know. I mean, I knew anyway, but you are going to get those people, those awkward swines who will go, yeah, but what's the relevance? What's the reference to Kinsey? It was years ago. So I have to, do you know what I mean? Explain it in that way so people can actually see it for what it is. So yeah, I did the dark stuff late at night. Like George was on as well about, I don't know if you saw George, he was on about 9-ish on Saturday night, and he was talking about child trafficking.
No, I didn't see that.
They're all coming out anyway. So the first 3 are already out. So Lucia and Richard Vobes, because Lucia stayed for the Richard Vobes interview. then Kim, and then Matt Letitia. So those three I've sent around.
I've seen them.
Yeah. So they're obviously on going around, and I think Rick's going to do 3 at a time. It's pointless me whacking them all out. It's pointless getting them all out in one day. Hiya, Rick. All right. He's saying hey now, just talking about you.
Rick.
Hi, Rick.
I don't know Rick, but hiya, Rick.
Okay. Nobody sees him. He's behind the scenes. But if it weren't for him and Jason, we wouldn't be able to do it. Do you know what I mean? There's no way that we would be able to do anything like it. So Rick, massive shout out to Rick, because he is absolutely amazing. But he is a wind-up merchant though, proper. So thankfully he didn't anyone watching live Sunday morning would have heard Lou effing and Jeffing, right? Because we didn't think that we were live. And I don't think I swore, but I was talking as if we weren't live. Do you know what I mean? Because he lies and jokes around. So when we were saying we live late in the morning, when he Nigel Thorns is at 2, Rick just said. So when he winds you, so he was saying, "Oh, you're live," and we were like, "Oh, fuck off! No, we're not." Yeah, you are. And we were like, no, Lou was swearing her head off. I was flapping about trying to, but I thought we were off air. It's only when we put the live feed on Lou's laptop, we were like, oh, hi, morning, everyone. Oh. But luckily, he didn't press record. So if you weren't watching that morning, you wouldn't have.
There's no evidence.
There's no evidence of it. No, we got away with that one.
Well, you got me.
Go on, Rick. Go on, Phil.
He got me editing film at, I don't know if he even used it, like, I mean, it was Saturday night. I just got home. I was downloading stuff, like, and he said, oh, can you edit your film down to an hour and 10 minutes or something? And I was just taking ages on Facebook, so I had to wait and wait and wait. I don't know if he used it or not, like, but...
we did want to. I don't know.
Yeah, he was a fucker, like, because he knew I'd only just got home as well. But never mind. It was a good call.
The day before, he rang Lou and said, this was the day before the podcast on the Friday. We were down with Rihanna and we were already in Cardiff. And he rang it on loudspeaker and I walked in the bedroom and he went, oh, you ain't going to believe this. I've just had, was it ADL or something and the coppers they just booted the door and taken all the equipment, the computers and all. And Lou's face, man, was just drained of colour. And I went, he's lying. And then he was giggling on the instant. I was like, oh. So it was one of those, like a boy who cried wolf scenario. I really did think he was lying.
Oh, God.
Oh, he just said, no, Bill, it didn't get in until it was too late. But yeah, we were going to play it in the morning. Look,
he feels bad.
He feels
bad now.
He should do, because at the end of the day, I'd been awake. Well, I'd 1 hour sleep on the Friday night, and then I got up at 4 o'clock to meet Christy. So I was on the road all the way until I don't know. I hadn't actually stopped until 7 o'clock yesterday, and I was editing stuff and stuff like that. Like, to me,
you need to take it pretty easy. You do, man. All this running around all the time. Got to make sure you get your sleep. We did actually manage to sleep as well. So the first podcast we didn't have any sleep, and that's when we really had the giggles bad because we just didn't know what was going on at one point. But this time we managed to have 3 hours sleep from 4 o'clock Sunday morning till 7 o'clock Sunday morning. And actually, as much as I really protested getting up, and I did mind, I was like a child, I'm glad that we had those couple of hours because it actually did make a difference. Even though we were still tired, we would have been hanging if we didn't have those 3 hours. So, you know, I'm really pleased. And Rick stayed, Rick has an hour, I think, in between those two, which was why I was really shocked when he had stayed up from 6 o'clock till, I think it was 1 o'clock yesterday morning. He went to sleep. He actually come off. Because there were still people watching, look, on YouTube, even though we'd finished.
Yeah.
We played What is a Woman straight after we finished and then went on with some other documentaries. So people were still watching at that point anyway. So he was like, I may as well carry it on through. So, Yeah, it was really good. So did you manage to watch any of it? I was going to ask who you thought who was your favourite, but you've only seen bits of it, haven't you? So you wouldn't know. Who was your favourite
Well,
that you've seen?
to be honest, I've not seen absolutely anything yet. I will get around to seeing it tomorrow because I had to get ready for this show as well.
Yeah,
So
no,
I've had to edit stuff down again so it can play.
Yeah,
I watched Richard's, but I did see some of Lawrence Fox. And who else did I see? I have seen bits of some of it. I've watched, but I did watch the whole of the Richard one because the same now, because obviously Saturday we were out all day at the drag.
Yeah.
And then Sunday I was doing work, I had stuff to do, and it's just been a crazy couple of days. So again, I'm on catch up now with all of it. But the bits I've seen, the Lawrence Fox bit, that was good. I enjoyed that. I'm trying to think who else I saw. I did see someone else.
Would that be Sunday morning? Probably more. Oh no, because did you go with Phil on Sunday as well?
No, I didn't go Sunday.
Right.
I don't know how he did it. I couldn't have gone Sunday.
Yeah, like I'm watching them back through because obviously, once they've done it, that's what I mean. It's easier to watch them because they're spread out. So on the Facebook lives, there's like 5 different streams of like 6 hours, 8 hours. So, do you know what I mean? And obviously so when they come out, it's easier to watch them when they're in sections, like in an episode type of thing. So, you may as well just wait for them to come out like that. But everyone brought something to the table, and Paul Fitch jumped in every now and again as well when we needed him, and he's been just hot on sharing everything. But I tell you what, you still can do it now, because I tried it earlier, see if it'll let me. But on the Facebook live stream, I think they allowed people to share it at the very beginning, but then after about 2 hours, nobody could share it. I still can't. I tried it earlier just to see if it would let me, and it came up saying you can't use this feature at the moment. So they don't want it. They don't want to share it, which is why I'm surprised we didn't get pulled down off bloody YouTube, to be honest, because you know what they like. We're worst. So I thought, they'll pick us up on it, but they didn't. They didn't pick us up on it. I was like, yes. Like I say, we don't know about now, but it doesn't matter because we've got all the footage. We can just put it in little sections. Rumble seems to be the best platform, to be honest. Same as my videos are on Rumble as well, and I've never had. I don't think.
I like Rumble.
Yeah, it's good. It is
really good, isn't it?
Are you?
You are?
Are you two on Rumble?
I've never used Rumble, to be honest with you.
No.
I would honestly, you could, because you can stream live through there as well, and it's very reliable actually. As long as you're not doing anything longer than, I think it gets to about 10 hours, it does stop. But yours are never 10 hours. They might be 5 or less. Do you know what I mean? But you for what you do, they'd be perfect. Have a look at it. It is worth it. It really is worth it because you know what Facebook's like. It's a pain in the ass, and it's it stops you from sharing stuff and whatever.
Oh, definitely, it is a pain in the ass.
Yeah, exactly. So I'd have a look at that.
Oh, I was just looking now because I shared the round 3 of it. I've shared that, but now it's saying this recording is not available. Let me have a try again. Because I shared round everywhere. The one with George on the front. I don't know if you can see that.
I can't know.
George, he's got his hands like this.
Yeah, I know. George Sandu, that is. He was the one who spoke about child trafficking in the porn industry at 9 o'clock. But he's been on previous podcasts. So you got the previous one there, you'll have.
So whatever was on this one, I watched this one. I've seen this one, but it's saying now the live stream recording is not available.
Oh, that's weird. That's definitely an older one. That's from the last podcast-a-thon. People were just resharing them, I think.
Oh, were they?
Yeah. So George was on again with us now, but that one, the one you've got, because we haven't put it out there yet. Look, because we're doing them in order, and George was at like 9 o'clock on Saturday, so His probably won't be done till tomorrow or the next day. So that one there, I know the picture you're on about, that is definitely from the second podcast-a-thon. I just want to say thank you to Carrie Ann as well for putting the donation, the link for the fundraiser. Thank you, love. I appreciate that. Yeah, money, what did we have? So we started off, there was already £5,980 in there from the last podcast-a-thon. So we just reused that one. So I think there's 10,300 and something in there now, which means we've made about 4,350 or something like that along those lines, which isn't bad. I mean, it should be more, as we know. You know, something as important as this, we shouldn't be, you know, there should be 100,000 people definitely on it giving a quid. We'd have it like that. We wouldn't even need to do this. But again, it's the whole censorship thing as well. It's trying to battle through that and getting it out there, and they're not letting us do it really. But yeah, and what I think is as well, once because the episodes are already being done, when people watch them, then they'll donate because, you know, it was a nice weekend, the weekend just gone. You know, a lot of people would have been out and about doing stuff, you know, families and whatever else, so they wouldn't have watched it. And then once the live stream's gone, it's gone. So putting them back out there now in episodes is where a lot more money will come in, I think. So
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think it will be, because they'll be reminded, obviously they got a fundraiser on each link and whatever. It shouldn't be a problem. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, it was really successful. It really was, you know, not in terms of money maybe, but in terms of awareness as well. There was lots of people watching. So, and like I say, if whoever was watching early hours of the morning would have had a shock, because that's when we bring out all the Kinsey stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I can't wait to see it all. You know, when it's all put in the video, in the chunks of it, it is easier to watch then, because you can share
like a crash course in it, really, because you've got you're talking about a different aspect or from a different perspective.
And Matt Letitia as well. That? And Matt Letitia was on as well.
Yeah, he was good as well. He did like a 40-minute one, and he was saying about his daughter, actually, because she had come home the other day upset that she had to put I think she's 13, so that's like Grace's age. Well, Grace isn't 13 quite, but she will be in July. That she came home and she was really upset because they got her to put condoms on, teach them how to put condoms on, and she was really upset by it. And it's like, do you know, it's just another example though of people. Do you know what I mean? Another example of how bad it is, and that people are not realizing it until it happens to them, type of thing. And this is what we're trying to prevent, isn't we? You know, we're trying to prevent all this. It's too late now. We can't prevent any of it. It's already happened. So we're looking for damage limitations. But yeah, he was talking about that, about his daughter. I did rewatch it actually earlier, the Matt Letitia one, or was it yesterday? And I can't even remember now. I'll have to go back and watch it again. But yeah, he was really good. They all were. They were all brilliant. But I can't remember. I mean, at the time I was okay, but midnight we had Ronnie Herman on, and I love Ronnie. She's from Canada. Obviously, it was a lot earlier for her.
Yeah.
And I can't even remember because I was so tired. I was losing it a bit at that point. So it'd be nice to go back and watch it. But you can give Ronnie the floor, and she will just explain. As you know, you've had her on. She'll just explain everything that goes on, and she's brilliant. I can't believe how much she's doing. She's superb. She really is a wonderful woman.
Yeah, she's amazing. She is, Ronnie. When we had her on here, like, I mean, she knows her stuff as well. So that's half the battle, when somebody, knows their stuff and knows what they're talking about. They're not just making it up as they're going along, like so.
Definitely. And the thing is, she's got that added bonus of her actually living that experience of being a teacher. She saw it all herself. Do you know what I mean? You can't get more, you know, closer to the truth than that. And what she was telling us about the pre-lockdown drills, but years ago, it's just, honestly, it's just frightening, isn't it? It's really to see what they've done to them kids. But you know, with people like her, I got a massive, massive amount of respect for, because she is absolutely killing it when it's coming to this exposing, and she's not afraid, you know. And I think that's half the battle when it comes to the educators and stuff at the moment, is a lot of them are too afraid. Well, I think a lot of them are indoctrinated. I think that's quite fair to say, isn't it?
Yeah.
Educators, because we've seen them. Do you know what I mean? We've seen them. But then there are ones as well who are too scared to say anything, too scared to lose their pocket, because they've got you know, they got kids and they got a mortgage to pay and they got bills to pay and whatever else. But it's like, that ain't gonna matter before long. Do you know what I mean? Well, that's more important.
Well, that's the thing, you know. This is, I think about that often, you know. I mean, the things that are happening, and if they carry on the way they're going, the people are not going to have these things, these material things anyway in the future. So they're really wasting their time and allowing this to happen for something that in a couple of years is going to be, there's going to be a lot of changes going on if they don't get stopped. So I just think, like, they're allowing their child to go through all this and to experience, you know, really being groomed and indoctrination and stuff for what's going to turn out, you know, well, the plan is to own nothing. So I just think that this is the time to stand up. And even if it means, you know, you pull your money and resources from everywhere else, your savings, your whatever you've got to do it, because this is the time now. Because each little agenda, if it's smashed away, it's going to topple the whole agenda. So we really need to topple, you know, even if we can get rid of a couple of things and mess with this massive agenda, it'll definitely damage where they want to go, because obviously they want to change the children for their future, which is not a great future. It's not looking good. So your children are in danger right now, but also in the future. So yeah, people have got to stand up. They have to. There's just no choice about it.
Yeah, and I tell you, it was really good actually was Sandy Adams. Because I don't know if you know Sandy Adams, but she was the one in Glastonbury doing the 15-minute talk that went viral. Well, she came on, and obviously she's been looking into a lot of this stuff, the transhumanism for a long time. And she was explaining, she even read the definition of post-humanism, so after we're human, from Wikipedia. They have full intentions of it. And she said the thing is, what's scary to her, having looked at this for a long time, is that the transgenderism that we're seeing is so closely linked to the transhumanism, you know, not knowing the environment and not be, that is where we're going. And it is, and they want us to live in this like metaverse, in this in this virtual world then. And this is part of that. So it's part of that agenda as well. So, I mean, it just has a massive knock-on effect to everything. Is frightening.
Well, I watched something about how they're going to dehumanize us. So because
they're doing now.
Yes, well, they are, and they have been for years. But even further, this is where it's heading. And I watched something about how they're going to be able to like control how like we think, and it's going to affect like as if we're going to be connected sort of to the internet. It's honestly, I watched this. It was so in depth. It's a lot to take on, and it sounds mental. Like if you mentioned that to someone, you know, normie, they would think you're just bonkers. But the whole thing of the artificial intelligence is they don't want families, as you know. They just want individual human beings that are not bothered about who's around them. You just go to work, you come home in your little 15-minute city, and that's what you do. That's basically, it's just get up, go to work, come home, sit in the park that's within your 15 minutes, go, you know, is so
it's horrible, isn't it? And obviously we don't want people to procreate. This is a big part of the agenda from that point of view. They don't want procreation. So, no babies will be born naturally. They're already messing with that stuff. And, and I don't know if you've read it or watched, there's actually a YouTube film from the 1980s. It's mega poor quality, but I did watch it because I read the book and I was like, I just want to watch the film, which was A Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. And that was written in the 1930s. And that was basically about this now, how we go and you'll have and it's even got so it's different wording. So where we've got the 15-minute cities and we'll all be in the cities, then in Brave New World, they had this magical place. Well, it's not magical, but the people who were in it thought it was magical.
Yeah.
We had this, what they called the savages on the outside, right, which didn't want to live like that. And basically these people, they would have different roles. So you would have the babies weren't made by mother and father. They were just in a false way, obviously.
Yes.
Babies, and then you'd have mothers who would nurture them, well, not even nurture them. And there was a lot of sex play in there when they were little. So children play, and basically there's no love at all, no love whatsoever. So every woman walks around with what do they call contraception on them all the time, and they just choose who they want to. But there's no connection there, so there's no jealousy. And when they go out of, and what they do is they give them what's called soma. So it's like medication to dumb them down, so that they don't even realize that they're in this. Honestly, it's done for 900 years in the future. This was in the 1930s. With 90 years into this. Sorry, 600 years in the future. We're only a sixth into it, and already we're really, really close to it. And the funny thing was, it's not funny, it's scary, but I was like, look, Aldous Huxley, he must have known something we don't, right? It's this George Orwell type of thing. They know something. So I did a little bit of research on the Huxleys, and I came across, so Aldous Huxley's brother was Julian Huxley. And Julian Huxley was the first president of UNESCO.
Oh, God. You can't make it up.
Down again. And I'm like, oh, my God. Do you know what I mean? It's really... But I would suggest anybody read A Brave New World. It's not a difficult read. It's really not a difficult read. It's a scary read, like I say. Or if you're not interested in reading, watch the YouTube video. And it's wow, you will pull the parallels from it straight away. And it'll be like, oh my God, that's where we are now. Even though, like I say, he set it in 600 years in the future.
Well, they knew, didn't they? Because this has been planned. They have the playbook, don't they? They know exactly where they wanted to go.
Yeah.
And that's how long it's taken them. And we are at this stage now. We're on this really, we're close now to this.
Oh, very.
The father of AI is actually a guy from Google, I think it is, but he's actually quit this week, and he's going to be showing the badness of AI. He's going to be telling everybody what could go wrong with it.
Yeah.
So,
he's finding through a conscience, did he? After all this bloody time. Well,
he's actually quit.
You know what'll happen, don't you?
You'll die.
Yes.
Yeah.
Die.
He'll get fans,
Yeah. But that's interesting to know, though.
So what other ways? I'm just putting up your link here now. Let's see if I can find it again. That's the link for your fundraiser. Are there other ways to raise funds for the PCP Wales court case?
Well, anyone can do whatever they want, really. Do you know what I mean? We've got what have we got coming up? It's Skateathon coming up on the 13th of May. That's what, next Saturday, I think, in there, week Saturday. 12 till 12. No, that's a lie. 8 a.m. till 8 p.m. 12-hour skateathon on Aberavon Promenade. So obviously people are in teams and they got to be skating for the whole 12 hours. in teams. So obviously they won't be skating, you know, one person won't be skating for 12 hours unless they want to do that. But as long as one team member is skating for the, you know, at any time during that 12 hours, then that's fine. So people don't need to come down to Aberavon for that. If they go like somewhere closer and they want to grab all their kids and, you know, your neighbours' kids and whatever, and do it like that, then please do. Do you know what I mean? Doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be at Aberavon. You know, people need, I think, they got to ask PCP Wales what to do and whatever. Just use your initiative, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Just go and do a coffee morning, or go walk up a mountain, or, you know, anything can bring money in. You know, I think it was Joe Howells who did like the water bucket challenge with her granddaughter. And, you know, like proper old school sponsors, right? And do you know what I mean? All like fivers and a couple of quid. And she made like 700 quid or something just from doing that one thing.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah, that's all you've got to do is use your initiative and do something to bring the money in. And more importantly, really is more important, we do need the money, obviously, but the most important thing is awareness. Because with the awareness comes the money. The more people know about it, the more people will invest in it. You know, there's got to be, right, we spoke about this on the weekend a lot, right? And how much funding the left gets, right? They've got the likes of Soros and, you know, pumping all this money up behind these organizations and stuff. They've got all the money in the world to do what they want. And we haven't. So the only way, but there's bound to be, in my opinion, there's bound to be people out there, right, who are loaded, right, who are against it like we are, right? So, like, if I was a multimillionaire, right, and I come across this stuff as, you know, being the person I am now, I'd pay for it all.
Yeah.
I know that we shouldn't do it like that, because obviously if one person pays for it, it'd be quite quiet. We wouldn't really know about it because the awareness is, but, you know, you would give a big chunk anyway. You know what I mean? You really would, because you'd want to see, you know, this, you wouldn't want to see it coming in. You wouldn't want to see where we're going. And if you had that money and wanted to invest in it, then obviously please do. But all we really need is just a load of people to give a little bit. And that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
It's so easy.
What I meant is, how can people carry on contributing towards their podcast-a-thon, which you did?
Oh, sorry, love.
It's all right. We can go over all the fundraising which is coming up. It's not a problem. But I want people to kind of donate to the fundraiser which you did, the podcast-a-thon, because 30 hours is a long time. And especially for Rick as well, doing 36.
Yeah. Well, Rick done longer than we did, in fact. Well, inside, if you go to the main page of the fundraiser, it's got like 78 thingy on there. I will put the link for our fundraiser in this when we finish, guys, anyway. But if you're on the big fundraiser, and if you scroll down a bit, you'll see fundraisers, and there's 30 of them. If you click on that, scroll down, you'll see Podcast-a-thon 2 and 3. There's about 10.5 grand in there. That's the one that obviously is for the podcast-a-thon. Or failing now, if you don't want to do it that way, you've got, Rick saying 43 hours. Oh, Rick, what time did you go to bed? Absolute nuts, honestly.
He's worse than me.
He's messed up. 43 hours. Failing that, though, like there's PCP Wales's bank details are on their website, on the fundraiser. I think they're the only ways that you can do it, really, to make sure that it goes direct to them, obviously, because we want all the money to go into PCP. But if you do it with the bank details, and you wanted to give to myself and Lou for doing the podcast, then just write podcast or something in the reference bit. But when you go through to give through the fundraiser, it'll come up with like a fee. Like when you put whatever amount you want in there, it comes up with a fee. You don't have to pay that. I'll just go to the platform. You can if you want to, but it doesn't come to PCP. And it does put people off. Because if you're going to pay, like if you wanted to give £100, it'll come up with £115. But all you've got to do is just click on the option that says, no, I'll opt out. Click that, and it takes off the £15 or whatever it is on top and just pays across whatever.
Yeah, I did it, and it said at the bottom, there was like, you know, £5, £10, whatever. And then at the bottom, it said other it's not, no, it didn't. It said like £1 or £2 or £5. Then, yeah, you press other and you can just put 0 if you want to, if you don't want to.
Yeah.
Like I can't remember.
It does put people off and they're like, oh, I don't want to do it like that.
Yeah.
So, or cash donations as well, you know, if you're local to any of us, do you know what I mean? And you can nip by and whatever. Dennis usually does that because he did, you know, I don't blame him. He don't like using stuff online. So, you know, there are people who just come down and give cash, which is absolutely fine. It's all going to the same place anyway, guys. Do you know what I mean? So it is all going there. But yeah, the podcast-a-thon was very successful. And would I do it again? Yeah, probably. Not yet, though. In like,
Well, you've done it 3 times now.
I know.
How much did you actually raise so far this time?
So far this time has been about 4,300. So it was £6,000 the first time, £6,000 the second time, which is weird. It's like exactly the same amount, you know, roughly, give or take a couple of quid. So that's 12. So we've raised 16.5 nearly so far over the 3 podcast-a-thons. Oh, there you go. Rickers per hour fundraiser on there, the actual podcast-a-thon one. Cheers, Rick, for that, love. And well done for your win in court today as well.
Oh.
Nice one. He's always in and out of the courtroom, Rick is, mind. He's a naughty boy.
Right. What I've actually got is some unseen footage. I won't be able to see it. You'll probably be able to see it. It's from Channel 4 when they didn't realise they were getting filmed. This is a bit after they've turned the cameras off.
Yes.
So what I'm going to do is...
I'm looking forward to seeing this.
Because this was done after
Glasses
the
on,
interview.
business now, mind.
Come on, Kimberly.
I have got the original interview, but I've just cut this from the extra bit afterwards when they turned the cameras off. So
I've been waiting to see all this. I can't wait to see all.
Yeah, I can't show it all. I can't show the interview because obviously I've said to Kim I won't do that. I want it to have it. I want it up for 24 hours when she puts it up because she's putting a little film together, so everybody can see that. But I've had permission to show this because this was afterwards. So let's show this bit.
We've actually, we've successfully united all religions and sexualities under one banner. And we've done it with 3 principles. You're either the human race or you're the human disgrace. There's only one split in society, that's adulthood and childhood, and everyone under 18 is a minor. Those are our 3 principles. It doesn't matter what your religion says. It doesn't matter what your sexuality says. These are our 3 principles. You leave your opinion at the door, and this is how we've successfully manage that, then, you know, common sense safeguarding. And I've gone through all the policies in this country. There are no policies for institutional sex abuse. I've done a study in the Education Workforce Council where 1/3 are sexually motivated. So we've got big problems here and we are going to address them. It's as simple as that. We've actually, so we've success.
She's brilliant, isn't she?
Yeah, that's
absolutely superb.
At the end of the day, they're not going to show that on Channel 4, are they? They just wanted to cut and edit film, which they thought that we don't have. But obviously, we've got it. They knew we were filming anyway. You could see the back of me anyway filming, Kim. So this is bits which they didn't realise that we were going to put out as well, not just the interview. So this is a second part as well.
This is what I found. So when I went there, I was really confused because so the ones who were for the drag were holding signs saying stand up to racism.
Yeah.
But we were the mixed group, you know, and I was really confused by that. Like, why are you shouting for refugees and things like that? We're not here for that. So I don't even know if the people there knew what they were there for. Yeah. You know, it was really...
So... She's got a point there. Why is stand up to racism standing at a drag queen event and shouting out racist with their banners?
Yeah, and the thing is as well with that Channel 4 little, what was it, like I saw your comment on there as well, Phil. I think the 6 minute 22 or something it was. And they, well, do you know what? They've actually lied. We know they do that anyway, but we can prove they lied. So where they were trying to stick up for ADHD in the video by saying, because they knew they had to say something. So because of obviously those the social media content of ADHD, they said something like, oh, he stopped posting adult content when he started working with children, but he started working with children in 17, and those the pictures and the content, the really foul content that he used, was 2019. And they were shown that, they were shown that, so they were aware of it. So I'll just let Kim do her thing. She'll have him over a barrel, as she always does. And we're still yet to see the ITV one that was done. What was it? You were there, Phil, beginning of January, 5th of January or something.
Yeah,
they're not are they?
We can probably bring that one out as well. Kim can probably bring that one out as well. But there's a lot more footage, a hell of a lot more footage. We got more. Obviously, Kim's got the full interview, and she had that. That's just a minute, a bit of the 3-minute video which I took afterwards. So
it was about 18 minutes. I've seen it all. It's about 18 minutes, and they did what? 30 seconds? Not even that.
Yeah,
we knew what they were going to do anyway, but it's just like they really did shoot themselves in the foot, because we can just totally screw up.
Dan just said get it viral, and that's what it needs to go out soon, because those people, they think that they can do this to normal human beings and to deceive the public and parents and stuff. So it needs to get out there, because it's just disgusting what they do. They're just so one-sided, aren't they?
It is. It's annoying, and it's really frustrating. And the comment, I couldn't help it. I was like, usually I don't get myself pulled in, but when people are right. So on the Channel 4, that little 6-minute one that they chucked on, the Facebook, there was so many comments on there that were just bullshit. Do you know what I mean? What's wrong with drag? And I used to watch, Dame Edna when I was younger, and Pantomime Dame and all this crap. I'm so sick of hearing it. I was like, I gotta stop myself from doing it.
At the end of the day, with Dame Edna and all the rest of them, right? What these silly people still do not understand, that is family entertainment. It's classed as family entertainment. It's not classed as adult entertainment. And there's a massive difference between the two. You know what I mean?
Oh, sorry, go on, Phil.
So it just drives me mad when they put that comparison of a pantomime dame
it's really
compared to an adult entertainer.
And I tell you what, somebody had put up, and you were at the Honor Oak pub, or no? Was it the Honor Oak where you were the other day? Well, somebody had put up, and I don't know how true it is, but he didn't make it shareable, so it's not shareable. I can't remember who it was.
What's the
gossip? Basically, it was a picture of the drag queen that was supposed to be at the Honor Oak pub, and he was had knee-high boots, PVC boots.
God.
This is the one we did to kids. Little star things on his nipples, with a thong type of thing on.
Are you kidding me?
No, that's what I mean. I say, because I didn't read the comments and there was no context. All I saw was that it said at the top this, and I think as somebody who does go to these events to, on the opposition like you, he said this is the drag queen that's going to be reading, or either going to be or has been reading to children in the Honor Oak pub. I can't remember who posted it. Hang on, I'm going to see if I can find it.
Dame Edna Everage, she didn't actually, or he, I don't know, she didn't go to a pub to sit and read to children, which is going to progress as well, isn't it? She was on television and in pantomime, so that was up to the parents, yes, and the same as this, but this is now going to go into schools, so now it isn't up to the parents. It's not at all up to the parents. And as we know from America, this is just, as soon as people accept this drag queen reading to children in the pub, then it's going to escalate. It's going to get worse and worse and worse. We saw all the people going in with their babies and little children. I mean, they were, not only were they taking them in to see the drag queen, but they were walking through very angry, very aggressive, people shouting on both sides. They were worse, but we were all shouting, and they were taking their children through that crowd of police, of people shouting out racist stuff about paedophile, about this, about whatever. So even if you look at this and say, well, they want to take their children, would you take your child? I know I wouldn't. I would not be there with a pram walking through a crowd.
No.
And actually, they were fighting on their side. They were scrapping a lot. And there was
I do want to ask you about that, but before I ask you about the weekend, are either, right, Christy, you're online now, and I'm going to send you a picture.
I'm not actually, but I will. Right, does it say I am?
I've got your phone next to you.
I got my phone, yeah.
Right, hang on, I'm going to send you a photo. This was apparently the one that was reading in the Honour Oak pub, or one of them.
Where are you going to send it? Because I'm
Facebook Messenger.
Okay, right.
Send it to Nimrod Watt. I might be able to put it up then.
Oh, yeah.
Right,
I might be able to. I'm not saying I can.
So, yeah, so they were walking their little children. Honestly.
So, what happened then Saturday? Because I did watch some of Phil's. I watched, was it Tyra? I watched her talking, and I watched Nick Tenconi was talking, because obviously we did an interview with him as well. That's on the podcast-a-thon. Yeah, I know. You got it, yeah? Obviously.
Yeah, that can't be the drag this week. That can't be what the drag was wearing in front of children, though, was it?
No, I just think that is the drag queen.
Oh,
so
drag queen.
Like, that's what he does. That's what I mean. They're mixing the two. You don't have adult entertainment and child entertainment. Like, you just don't have it like that.
Don't go putting it up. I don't want to ban.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Just have a look.
It's vile.
So yeah, I saw Scott Nugent.
Yeah.
And then I saw him walk off. So talk me through what happened.
He threw his mic. That was brilliant.
Well, what actually happened with Scott is he started talking and they just wouldn't let him speak. And our side was getting rowdy as well, calling them across the road, because he's one of us, do you know what I mean? And it just winding him up, it was across the road as well. But he just couldn't speak. He wasn't allowed to really speak because they just shutting him down. This is what the left actually do. Now we're talking about, there was an MP there for Lewisham. She's the one in the House of Commons who said she wanted something done about these protests outside this Honour Oak pub. And Rishi Sunak turned around and said, everybody's got a right to protest. So she was outside there. You had teachers outside there. I'll show you the post now, which I came across of the people who were outside. Let's see if I can find it now.
Wow, I cannot believe. I can't believe.
How many of them was there? Because it looked like there was loads of them and loads of you. So how many would you say was on each side?
There was a lot more of them.
Yeah,
I'd say there's about. I reckon there's about 250 of them, right, tops. We had about 100. Now our numbers have increased quite a bit. Well, I reckon we had over 100 at one stage, but our numbers have increased and their numbers actually decreased because they had about 300 to 400 on the first one.
Yeah, and like when we went up, there was only about 20 of us, wasn't there, Phil? Let's have a look. Hundreds of counter protesters have yet again blocked far-right activists from disrupting a family-friendly drag event at the Honour Oak pub in southeast London. I hate the way they word these. They're mega frustrating, and they.
Oh, I could.
LGBTQ plus activists, teachers, allies, and the borough's Labour MP came together to blockade another wave of turning point of the UK protesters. Right, let's get this one thing straight. Whoever wrote that is talking out of their arse, because I know the lads who turned up 7:45. They held outside the pub, and they did it to save any trouble when the police asked them, "Is it right if you can go on the other side of the road?" But what the police done was let them follow them, We're not just talking about those sort of activists. We're talking about Antifa, Pantifa. That's what they are. They're just pants. I mean, that's all. They're nothing. I mean, they're just a strong arm for Soros for every single thing that's going on. If you stand up to racism, if it's Extinction Rebellion, Stop Oil, they have to jump on it, or even against women's rights. This is what they do. They cause a divide, and they're like their mini little army. But that is the matter. The football lads, let them get to where they were going. Let the protesters on their side stay outside the pub. It wasn't down to them because we were there early enough. Do you mean?
Yeah. It did look pretty rowdy, mine, from the little bits of footage. I saw you, right? It must have been you, Chris, because I recognised your voice, but I couldn't see you. What was you shouting something across? Because I swear it was you.
I'll play it now.
Go on, play it so I can see it again.
I didn't know he's.
She's only got there 2 minutes. I mean, you can't actually take her anywhere. To be honest with you,
I got such a big mouth. I can't.
I love it.
Let's see if I.
Yeah, that's right, Lou. It is always the liberal loonies causing trouble. So it's the same.
Gays against groomers. They know the agenda. Gays against groomers. They know you're being used. You're being used for a paedophile agenda. But gays against groomers.
And trans.
Trans against groomers. This is grooming. Groomers. Groomers. You sick people, mental illness, mentally ill. You need help for your sickness of pedophilia.
Have a banner.
Fair play to you. No, you were right though. Do you know what I mean? It is, and it's angering, isn't it? Because when they argue back, when they shout their chants back, they're just pathetic. Like some of the chants they say, it's like, what are you even on about? Like, what are you even talking about? But I did see as well, did they try and jump through the line or something? Because I saw a bit of a video with loads of police,
I felt when
well. See what was going on.
Yeah, they were all fighting.
You can see on my footage on my profile. I've got to say, on the weekend I had 40,000 views between the two events. One video on the drag queen on Philip Palmer hit over 20,000 views.
Wow!
The thing is,
that's good.
They were infighting with themselves in the beginning. Then they went for a little push, which they got nowhere. You got like 30 of these Antifa idiots trying to push 7 police officers, and they still couldn't push them. It just shows how pathetic they actually are. They started infighting again across the road. There was 3 arrests. Now, this Labour MP, she can go and stick something up her arse, as far as I'm concerned, because the 3 arrests came from their side. It showed we did not push the crowd. We did not push the police. They needed the police around them because that's all they were interested in, is coming close to us to get our equipment. Because I tell you what, if they came anywhere close or broke through that police line and the police had to move, they would have been very sorry. Because
you're allowed to defend yourself. See. That's the other thing. Do you know what I mean? You're not just going to sit there while a load of people start charging at you. You know, there's going to be a backlash from that, you know. So how many coppers would you say was there?
I don't know, about 150 was there? Something like
that.
There was about I saw about 9 riot vans at one stage. But there was other riot vans around the corners and that.
They were shouting go our streets, don't they? They always go our streets. What's they say?
Fascist scum off our streets. Is that what I say?
Yeah, or something like that. Our street, yeah. And I said to the copper, I said, whose streets is it? I said, who's it? He goes, it's the Mets. I went, no, it's not. It's my streets. Tell him. I said, go on, get in there. Go on. I said, harass him, fight him.
I've got to give a big shout out for a couple of people for that day. Turning Point for one, all the speakers, and also to SED who turned up. SED are the Southeast Division of the football lads, and quite a few of them turned up. And well done to the lads. I hope they're going to turn up to other events. They did on the first one, and they did on, I think it was the third one as well. If it's a Friday, see, most of them work, but they gave their Saturday up to come and support us. Do you mean? Because they knew Antifa are they are a terrorist organisation in America.
Yeah, they are.
Well,
Exactly. They're everywhere all the time, and chances are, guys, they're going to be there on the 17th of May as well, or at least, do you know what I mean? The more traction that the 17th of May event gets, the more that the government will just hire them to do their crap anyway, won't they? Do you know what I mean? So I got a feeling there's going to be a lot of opposition there. But I think May the 17th, though, I think it's going to be really good. We got amazing speakers. And it's like Kim said, we're only talking for like 10, 12 minutes each. That's enough to hold people's attention. Look, do you know what I mean? When things like that are going on, rather than being any longer. But I think it will pull us together. It'll unite us. You know, we've got loads of people coming up from South Wales, mind. So, you know, that's not including the people who live in that area or live in England or, you know, around London and whatever. Hopefully we'll get, you know, somebody to come down and represent from Scotland. Maybe Richard Lucas would be perfect if he could. Do you know what I mean? And we got Andy Heisman coming over. Andy Heisman was on our podcastathon as well. And I don't know if you've seen Andy's work, but he's amazing. He's like a Phil, but he's over in Ireland. Do you know what I mean? He's at all.
I watched him, the Island guy. The guy, he's a brilliant. Yes, I did see that one.
Yeah, well, he came on the podcast. He was on Sunday morning, and he is going to come over for May the 17th. So he's going to represent Ireland, and there's a lot of shit going on in Ireland. You know, there's loads going on there. So I think the 17th is going to be a really, really, really interesting day. And don't forget, it's Wednesday. It's Prime Minister's Christian time. It's going to be really good. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be...
Yeah, I am as well. It's going to be brilliant.
It's going to be brilliant. But we are going to get Antifa there, I would have thought, and Black Lives Matter and Stand Up to Racism, whatever. All the opposition, you know, the controlled organisations will most likely be there, I would have thought.
Well, I don't know, because PCP Wales is a slightly different issue. We haven't had a big... You might get LGBT might turn up, and they might bring Antifa, but we'll wait and see. I will be putting the message out to quite a few London people I know. I will be letting them know to come down and turn up and film or whatever they do. Like to me, some of them just go there to protest. So hopefully I can get a few people down myself. Like to me.
The thing is, they were in Oxford, Antifa, but because there were so many people that turned up, the streets were filled with our people. That actually I didn't even see them, and I don't even think they were there that long. They seemed to, you know, have a bit of a shout with a couple of people. Like they had a bit of a scuffle with the police, and then, as far as I know, there was nothing else of it because there were so many of us. They just obviously knew,
basically,
they knew they were well outnumbered by thousands, and that's what we need. Even though people think, oh, you know, it doesn't make a difference. It does, because if there is absolutely loads of us who are against this, in the end, they'll go away because there'll just be too many of us. When there's thousands and thousands of us, and I know there is against this, but they're just not coming to things. They're not supporting.
Yeah. You're right, love. There are far more. In fact, Matt Letitia said that as well. There are so many people who are against it, but they're just not brave enough to speak out. They're not doing, or they're not actively doing anything about it. Do you know what I mean? Which is shit, because we need them. Like, it's a numbers game anyway.
Yeah.
And, you know, you're right. Because when we went up to Crystal Palace, in March. There was literally, I mean, in the end, there was about 20 of us, maybe a few more than that. But at the very beginning, when we first got there was about 100 of them, or maybe a bit more. And there was about 6 of us, 7 of us, maybe. Do you know what I mean? Until a few people came along afterwards. So they had, of course, they can outpower us from that point of view with their voices and, you know, their screaming and their chanting and all that sort of nonsense. They are able to do it. But yeah, you are actually right there, Phil, as well, because we were at a drag event then. I forget about that. And as PCP Wales, we haven't really had that because, you know, there's been no need type of thing. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just wondering, but because of where it is and the day it's on, I'm just wondering what sort of stops they're going to pull out. Do you know what I mean? Because, you know, we are going to be there. But I'm hoping it's going to go really well. I think it will. I think it'll go really, really well. If we get a bit of opposition, we get a bit of opposition. It's not like we're not used to it anyway. Do you know what I mean? In fact, when there's opposition, you're more likely, whichever way they try and spin it, to get into the media. Now, at this stage, for us, any publicity is good publicity. Even that Channel 4 bullshit that they put out the other day, as frustrating as it is still publicity. So you're still going to get people to come over and go, well, who's this? Who is she? Who's this lady by here from Public Child Protection Wales? We'll go and have a look. And we've got nothing but truth. Public Child Protection Wales has got nothing but truth. So it's very difficult to deny. If you're really out to look for the truth, I mean, not if you're just completely side-blinded by a load of nonsense, but if you're really genuinely looking for the truth, you're going to find it. So from that point of view, it doesn't matter what they put. So if there is a little bit of commotion outside Parliament, probably better, really, isn't there, from that point of view?
Love a bit of commotion.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's it. Was that St. Margaret Street, is it? I have no idea. Is that Parliament?
Yeah, it's actually Westminster Parliament. Right in front of Parliament, we're going anyway.
Right in front of Parliament. Sorry, guys. So that's not Parliament Square, then, is it? Because I don't know.
Yeah, it's Parliament Square. There is going to be Parliament Square.
Right.
It'll be Parliament Square it's 1 p.m.
Yeah, 1 p.m. and I think from 1:30 till 3:30 or 3:15 are the speeches. And then, you know, the job is done. I really do think it's going to be massively successful. And it's a massive call out to anyone watching now to please come along. You know, you've got, what date are we on? We got the 2nd, we got 2 weeks tomorrow, right? So you've got a fortnight to book some time off work and whatever else if need to, or, you know, get some childcare if you need to do that or whatever. But you've got 2 weeks notice. You really need to be there. You really need to stand up and be counted, because the thing is, a lot of people just assume that other people are going to do it for them. There were plenty of people who were against it, as we've just said, but they're like, oh, you know, they'll do it. No, we need everybody to be on board with us. We need you all there, you know, and we can show them, look, we're not going anywhere, and we're only getting stronger, and we're only going to get bigger. You know, we're not going anywhere. And they probably know that by now, to be honest. There's bound to be some twitchy asses in the background, like the likes of Jeremy Miles, for example. You know, even when we went down to... That video had 20,000k. My live video of Jeremy Mayu was on holiday, Phil, I think.
That was so funny.
Yeah,
it was hilarious because he could hear everything. Because Helen was in there. She was in there. Yeah. So what she had done, she had booked us. Like, we tried to get in there on the undercover, didn't we? So she had booked, but you had to do it by email only. So it was for local businesses. It was in Neath Rugby Club for local businesses, to, you know, doing his nonsense and whatever. So you had to do it by email appointment. So she had obviously put our names, she gave us 3 different random names and herself. So we had a confirmation email back saying, yeah, that was 4 seats. So it was Helen, me, Kim and Lucia, right? So I was all, Kim was like, you'll have to dress up, not like PCP stuff and whatever, you know, dress like a bit businessy or whatever. So I was all dressed in my business-like clothes. An hour before we were supposed to go in there, she rang me, she was like, we've been busted. I said, why? So what had happened is they must have found out, and they sent Helen, who had originally booked the 4 spaces, an email saying, I'm so sorry, but we haven't got the capacity for the 3 extra guests, but we have for you. In other words, they knew it was us, and they were like, they can't come in there, because otherwise, you know, this was a Jeremy Miles thingy. They wouldn't have got it wrong on the email. That was the whole point of doing the email, because it was invite only type of thing. So when Helen was in there, She took a photo. There was row after row after row of empty seats. So there was obviously capacity for us, but they didn't want us in there. But it worked out better in the end because if they'd known it was us, they'd have kicked us out anyway. So because we had the PA system, we went up by where their room was inside, was right by the fire door. So we started talking, and Helen said, because she was inside, she said when Kim knocked the top of the microphone to see if it was working, they all looked like that because it sounded like somebody was banging on the door, on the fire door. And then as soon as you could hear Kim's voice come through, she said that his face just went bright red. His face drained and then it went bright red because they could hear everything she was saying, mind.
Oh, I love it.
And then when we got to, when it was the end of it, he was meant to come out one way. So we were stood there waiting for him to come out. And he wouldn't come out. He wouldn't come out. He waited. And there was only like 7 of us there. Do you know what I mean? We were all like little, you know, we were just women. There was no men. Oh, Dennis was there. Sorry, there was one man there. And he wouldn't come out. He wouldn't come out of the thingy. Hello, boy.
Have you read that?
What's that?
Have you read that? All going on at Buckingham Palace, shotgun cartridges thrown.
What? Oh, yeah. What's going on? Who's that, Michael? Michael, what's happening?
All going on at Buckingham Palace.
Now?
Yeah. That's crackers.
We are the pussycats compared to... Yeah, we are.
Yeah, I would agree, Alan. We are. We've let them get away with way too much, haven't we? That's the problem. And, you know, there's not enough people on their feet willing to do something about it. But yeah, I'm hoping it's going to change.
I've got to go back to the drag queen thing for a minute. I just want to give somebody a really, really massive shout out as well. She was one of our favourite supporters. Her name was Karen. She actually she was standing on the left across the road from us. She was absolutely brilliant. Shouted her mouth off. You can tell she was a rich bitch. But she bought us all a drink in a local pub, the Brunch, and she came over to our side. Can you remember her? Can you remember her? She was actually doing tweets about us as we going into this cafe, bar, restaurant.
Very nasty piece of work she is.
Let's make you famous, Karen. Yeah, thank you for all the drink, and thanks for coming over to our side. I know you're going to pretend to be on this. What was
she tweeting? What was she saying on her tweet?
Well, I went over. I was waiting to get a drink, and because she was sat there and she had all the stickers on, stand up to racism and all the stuff that I knew she'd obviously just been to the pub. So I said, the people outside the pub are not racist. They were just standing up for children. She went, "Oh, go away." She went, "Just get away from me." And then she got up, she stormed over to the bar, called the manager. She said, "I demand that they get out of here." She goes, "They're bothering me when I eat my lunch." So she sat back down then, and she was on her phone, holding her phone up, and someone was behind her and said she was tweeting about us. And then in the end, because a couple of other people spoke to her as well, she got us barred. We weren't allowed to get another drink.
No way.
Honestly, she was a little monster. And look, she's got all her stand up to racism and stuff. So she'd been outside the pub. And the same thing, 2 people that we were with, when me and Phil had left, they went into the shop that was near the cafe that we went, the pub, and they went in the shop and gave a leaflet and spoke to them about what was going on in the pub with drag queen story time. They called the police on them. They got thrown out of the shop. Yeah, they've got the footage of that, and they weren't abusive. They didn't do it. They just wanted to give some leaflets and explain what was going on. This is how bad it is there. These people,
really bad. It's obviously a really woke area, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? For it to all sort of happen like that.
Phil, what you're trying to say that she's being nice to us? Are you spinning a lie? What are you saying?
She came over to our side. She bought all the football lads, all of us a drink in the end. She was a really nice woman. I can't wait to see her again. Alan, she filmed all of us. She was taking pictures of us, but I managed to get a photo of her without her even knowing I had a photo of her. So,
is that the photo you took of her? There was it.
Yeah,
it like you were right next to her. That does, Phil, or did you zoom in?
I zoomed in.
Oh, well, you've managed to make it perfect. Oh, I do want to say as well, before I go, right,
you can see that she's nuts.
Yeah, she looks like a wrong un, doesn't she?
Yeah,
she's that, like, but I'm going to say it.
She's probably his wig maker. She probably makes his wigs or something.
She looks as miserable as sin, put it that way. She does, doesn't she? She looks like a proper Karen, a real Karen.
I
just wanted to say, like, before I have to shoot off, I wanted to give a massive shout out to Rhiannon, right, who was obviously put us up for the Friday and the Sunday and 3 hours during the Sunday morning, obviously, because she was absolutely amazing. She was like the hostess with the mostess. She made sure we had food. She made sure we had drink. She was in and out checking. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely good as gold. Come to pick us up from the train station, dropped us back. I can't thank her enough because she made it so much easier. Do you know what I mean? Than having to. We didn't really have enough time gap-wise to have been able to sort something out to eat if it wasn't for her anyway. Do you know what I mean? She was, and her food is amazing. She was absolutely amazing. So I just want to say a massive thank you to Rhiannon and Brian, whose house it was. I don't even know who he is, but he lent us his flat for the thingy, obviously. And
Brian's all right, he is. Right.
Do you know him?
Yeah, the car you got picked up in, it was Brian's car.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Well, whoever he is, cheers, Bri, because you really, really did help us out. And we put everything back proper. There was no, we didn't leave it a mess or anything like that. And last, but obviously I've given Jason and I've given Rick a big up as well. But obviously the one I have to give one massive one to is Lou Collins. So she couldn't be with us tonight because she's got so much to do and she's absolutely shattered. So I said I would do this, obviously. But if we wanted to, we wouldn't have even. It was her idea to do the podcast, and the first time. Oh God,
When will I ever meet her? I don't believe she really exists. I think she's artificial intelligence. You just placed her there.
And Kim's birthday, that was hilarious. That was mine when you thought that someone else was Lou, and I just cried. I didn't even know until I heard Phil say how long she's staying with you for. I was like, who? And he pointed. I went, that's not Lou. And he went, oh, I forgot. And I realised then you would thought it was her, and you was all excited talking to this girl, and she was like, oh,
Christy was talking to her for about 2 or 3 minutes before.
I heard you say to her, but I just assumed you were talking. I heard you say to her about the podcast and say, when you and Kath were, or something.
Laughing, when you were laughing and you couldn't stop laughing. I said that was so funny. I was crying laughing. And then
she was, because I spoke to Sam after and she was like, she said, oh, you were saying that. And she was thinking, well, it wasn't me, but I wish it was. She goes, laughing so much. If it wasn't for Lou, the first time we done a podcast-a-thon, she wrote the details on the back of a receipt, and just basically we done it like that. And Rick, bless him, didn't even know what was going on until the time. But if it wasn't for her, we would I got a couple of the guests, but there was 30. Lou is really good at what she does. Do you know what I mean? Of getting the guests on, and she does loads on her own. I may be a co-host with her, but none of it should really go to me. None of the merit really, because all I do is talk. Do you know what I mean? I haven't done any of the groundwork, whereas she has from the beginning. So a massive shout out to her. I love her to bits. I really do. Well, I love them all to bits, Paul as well, and you guys. We're all on the same team at the end of the day, and we're all doing our bit. And it's an honor to know all of you, to be honest, and be fighting on the same side, and which is the right side of history as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, definitely. Kat, you're amazing.
If you do want to shoot off, you can carry on. it's no problem. But thank you for coming on.
That's all right. My absolute pleasure. You know that. At any time, as long as I'm available, I'm more than happy to come on and have a chat with you guys.
Oh, it's lovely talking to you. And yeah, I look forward to all the clips now. Well, not the clips, but you know, everything.
I'll tag you both in them anyway as they come out. I'll make sure you're always tagged in my stuff anyway. So I'll make sure
I'm always banned.
Yeah,
I'm good at the moment, so I'm not jinxing myself until after the 17th, and then I'm going to go Alpha Leather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, guys. Love you both. Have a really good evening, and I'll speak to you later. Mwah.
And I'll catch you later. All right, ta-ra, Kat. We're not actually going yet because we've still got another demo to go over what happened Saturday. It was regarding
and Sunday. You went to one.
Yeah, Sunday. It was women to speak or something like that. The group was called with Posey Parker. With Posey Parker, and basically what it is they're campaigning against men or trans women into female spaces, which means toilets, changing rooms, women's sports, women's prisons. So it was actually a big demo because a couple of 3 weeks ago they actually turned up and assaulted some of the women. Now you're talking about trans men and you're talking about Antifa, LGBTQ. They actually assaulted women, like the week before, 3 weeks before. So we all there's a lot of people who actually turned up for this event, and I'd say we had about 400 on our side. And what the police actually did, they marched Antifa and LGBT lunatics actually into our part of the park. And what do you think happened? I'll tell you what happened. I'll show it now. It's only a small clip. That's one of ours, Harris.
Are you all right? Are you all right? Have you had stuff taken out of your...
So what basically had happened then was you had two of the stewards walking by the side of the police, and what they actually did, they pulled one of the stewards into the crowd and they started punching and kicking her. Yeah, and the police managed to grab her. The police managed to grab her out. Another steward went in as well, but she got punched and kicked. You know what I mean? So these are the type of people we're dealing with. Antifa, and there was teachers obviously. I mean, the same as what was in Honor Oak. They were the same people. They were all masked up. There was lots of. They wanted to cause a lot of violence. There was actually death threats put online for Posey Parker. Yeah. This is what they did. They on the night before they set a meeting place, and they turned up. They were told to all mask up because there's going to be trouble. Anyway, and I find these people, sort of people, just diabolical because if you're gonna go against women's rights as far as their own spaces, there's something actually wrong with you. Because if you're standing up for trans rights, well, stand up for trans rights. Stand up for extra toilets for trans women or men to go into. Same for the trans changing rooms. Get campaign for them, like the women had to do decades and decades ago for their own rights to have. Their own rights. So stop this bullshit. And if you want to go into a women's sport, I'm sorry. You trans men and trans women, go and have your own Olympics. Go and do your own sports instead of interfering with women's rights, because that's what you're doing. You're actually, it's actually diabolically sick that a man in a dress can turn around and assault women. It don't matter if you think you're a woman. You're not a woman. Biological, you're not a woman. 1,000 years from now, you're still going to be a man. There's nothing you can do to change it. Do you mean?
It's upsetting seeing that boxing. They broke the women's skulls, didn't they?
It's sick. Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
The lunatics have escaped out the asylum, Lucia.
They
They've
have. They
escaped.
have.
And they are damaging the women's rights of this country, which women have died for. I mean, they've been battened for. They have on the streets. I'm sorry. I know women really find it is it's offensive. If my daughter was in a toilet and one of these blokes walked in, and I would lose it. I would absolutely lose it. You know what I mean? It's not right. It isn't right.
It isn't right. It's awful what's going on. Well, you're right. All these years that women have fought for their rights, and now men, these people are pretending to be women.
They're not men.
And they're not men. Well, they are men. They're not women, but they're pretending to be women.
Yeah, they're not men. They're not.
To take over my place.
There's only two DNAs. It doesn't matter if you're intersex. You're always going to be either a DNA of a male or a female when you die. Do you mean? Or your bone structure, you can either have different bones compared to each other, and you're always going to be identified as a male and female. It doesn't matter if you're intersex, transgender, lesbian, gay, bi. I mean, at the end of the day, they're just sexual. They're not genders. That's just sexual preferences. It's a big difference.
As Posty Parker would say, non-binary is bullshit.
There is bullshit.
They're cowards. They are.
Bullshit. I mean,
they are cowards.
They are cowards because all they can do is fight against women. And I tell you what, the women give them just as much as they get. Like, do you mean? But what I'm really annoyed about is the likes of Antifa. Everybody thinks the university students with masks on, or kids who've got nothing else better to do, think it's all right. We're going to go there and cause a bit of violence. But if they're one-on-one with somebody, it's an entirely different ball game. They have to pull a woman in from the crowd to give her, to hit her. It just shows exactly what sort of people we're dealing with. And the teachers, this is another thing. The teachers are part of this. They are pushing agendas into bloody schools. They voted for drag queens to come into schools. One teachers' union voted for drag queens to come into the school to teach them to read. How sick is this? We've already got an investigation going on with Isle of Man. Why are we doing this? Anyway, it just drives me absolutely bonkers, Christy.
It drives me nuts. I can't speak very much because I'm going to lose my...
Well, all right, I'm already losing it, like, do I?
It's right, it does. It makes me absolutely, my blood boil. It makes my blood boil that there's people who are allowing this to happen. There is a lot of us who are standing it, but there's a lot more people who know it's wrong. They have to find their voice now. They have to stand it because this is way too serious. It's already gone too far. And the people that think this is okay, oh my gosh,
the thing is, on Sunday, right? I was standing with. I've got to admit, right? I know the LGBTQ, the LGB, is a brilliant organisation. As soon as they put the T and Q and the rest of it on it, right? I would stand with any lesbian, gay, and bi. I got friends who are that. I've got no problem with transvestites either. But leave our fucking kids alone.
That wouldn't have been happening. That protest wouldn't have been happening if it'd just been an adult. That's it. There would have been. You wouldn't have seen anyone outside there if it'd just been a normal adult drag show. I very much doubt you would have seen any protesters anywhere. Nobody cares. Nobody's interested. If they want to do that with adults, that's absolutely up to them. But when you're starting to involve children in this, it's just going. You what?
That's the key word. Children. Don't involve children in your sex life.
That's it. Then go back to doing what you used to do. Have a great time if that's what you want to do. Marvellous. Nobody's stopping you. No one's trying to stop you. So how serious these people, they've already got those. They've got that right to do that, to go and perform to adults. Nobody cares. Nobody's bothered. A lot of people enjoy it. There's a lot of people who are protesting against this who would happily go and watch drag queens with adults. There is. This is not about an anti the fact that the person is gay or trans or whatever. They could be a unicorn. We know this is an agenda, and we know this is only going to get worse. This is an agenda to normalise something that is very abnormal.
I tell you what, I've got some really good friends who are gay. I've got lots of friends who are lesbian. I was proud to stand by. I was proud to on Sunday stand by. I mean, hundreds of lesbians. Do you mean standing up for their rights? Do you mean they're women's rights? As simple as that.
Of course they are.
And a good LGBT, I should say, person would be standing against this bullshit. Do you know what I mean? Not pushing it on to children. We've got so many in our movement who are lesbians, gays, bis, do you mean even trans, and they stand by us. And then you've got these idiots.
It's because at the moment they're being told that this is an anti-gay thing, an anti-trans. We're anti this, we're anti that.
We're not.
Well, we know that, but what I'm saying is that that's what's being said, and that's what's going round, isn't it? That these people are standing there because they're against trans people, they're against gay people. That's got to be it, because any logical person would know, no, it's not that they're against that. They're not stood there because, like he's trying to say, they're racist, they're anti-gay people, they're anti. In fact, we're standing up a bit for gay people and lesbians, because this agenda is not really about them, actually. This agenda is actually trampling all over them. And it's also, I'm saying this from Gays Against Groomers, this is actually damaging the gay community. This is damaging them. It doesn't look good for them. Yeah,
you're exactly right.
It's damaging for them. So I feel sorry for them, because they fought for years. And I just think that this is disgusting what's going on. And it's like that person that came from America to speak. He was actually on GB News. Did you see him? He was a woman, and he'd had the full surgery to become a man. But actually, he's quite unhappy and I think he would like to go back to being a woman, but he's had the full surgery.
Transitioning. Detransition, and that is called.
Oh, I think he's been ill and all sorts. He had an amazing story to tell, and he's had children, see, because I think he said he's got 3 children. So that's the thing. He is a woman instinct. He's a mother. He knows this is wrong. He knows this is so wrong against children. This isn't about, being against gay people or lesbians. This is about, look, these are children. Can we just leave them out of this, and then we can just carry on with our lives?
Rhiannon, you're right. You can't surgically remove the gay out of somebody, but you can actually put gay into somebody, which by pushing their genders and everything else, it's pushed on with the education system. You can actually put a non-gay person, you can turn them gay. It's fact. You might think you're a tomboy, or do you mean you like playing a boy playing with dolls? But this is what's going to happen in schools. They're going to, if you've got just a little bit in you which they think is gay, they're going to push it. Where in fact you're not. Do you mean? If you let them grow up and let them carry on, experiment for themselves, instead of trying to push the bullshit onto children at a young age.
When my son was in school, he quite liked to dress up in some girly stuff.
Yeah.
And he liked to buy girls like teddy, but you'd say they're girls, I don't know, but he did used to like some girls things and some boys things. If he went towards a girl thing or he wanted to run around the house in like a girl's costume, do you think I would care about that? I don't care. It never bothered me. It didn't bother me because he's a child. He's allowed to play, explore, have fun. If anybody had labelled my son, I would have been absolutely furious. You let them, yes, you do let them explore and play. They learn through play, and as they get older, they find themselves. You don't steer them towards these things. You just be supportive. You say you're a boy, obviously you're a boy, but there's nothing wrong if you want to pick that, and it's known as a girl's toy. You like that, have that. There's no problem. You know, this isn't about that. And in the school, I know I've worked in a school before, and they had a dress-up box, and a lot of the boys went for the dresses. I tell you that now. A lot of the boys, they put on the princess dresses and they run around, and usually they fight. They put on princess and they batter each other. And but you don't label those kids, and you don't think that there's something wrong with them or they're born in the wrong body.
This is a scenario for you, right? Say you've got two older sisters and you're 5 years of age, and they say they're 6, 7, or 8 or something, right? And I mean, you use it, we play with their toys. I mean, like you said, get in their clothes and stuff like that. But as soon as a teacher realizes that they've got a feminine side, well, we've all got feminine sides, and that includes men, like myself. At the end of the day, you've got a feminine side, if you like it or not. But a teacher nowadays would push it with a trans tool. Yeah. It's
just play as well. It's just play. It's exploring. Yes, that looks nice. It's a nice colour. It's bright. It's fun. What's the matter with that? This just makes me so annoyed, because they're just going to label a child that's running around playing in a dress. They're going to say, oh, I think that you're in the wrong body. I think you might be a little girl. Confused child. You know, it's sick. It's absolutely a sick agenda, this is. We need to stop this.
Right. Let's go through the demos which are coming up now, because I think we've chatted quite a bit. So
I don't talk much.
Right, on the 6th is the virus, Cardiff. Well, it's in every single BBC where they'll start putting stickers up. That's 1 p.m. that is, folks. That's right around the country, around all the BBCs and some ITV studios as well. So there'll be people out there putting their stickers out. They'll be plastering them. The windows are theirs. Then on let's see if I got the right date, the right one. This is No to the 15-Minute City in Swansea. This is going to be a massive event. This is where you've got Stand Up to Racism turning up, and obviously Stand Up to Racism want to get locked up, basically, don't they? In their own little city, 15-minute cities, folks. That's on the 7th of May at 1 o'clock, and that's the Green Area. Is that by the Cardiff, by Swansea Castle, isn't it? No, it's not. LC2 is down by.
I think that's by the swimming pool, isn't it?
Yeah, that's where it is. I was trying to remember where it was. Yeah, it's by the swimming pool. And
the green area by the swimming pool.
Yeah,
but I think that's going to be quite a big protest. And
well, I hope it is, because we need people there.
I hope it is too, because Antifa come in.
Yeah.
Do you know that?
Yeah, Pantifa.
They're coming on Sunday to Swansea.
I might actually get dressed up as Pantifa.
Yeah.
Adam
Let's
Pantifa.
go in our masks and blend in with them.
Yeah, I think I might
plant things in their pockets. It's just fun, you know, just for
So then on the Wednesday, on the 17th, we've got Parliament Square, which is going to be PCP Wales' big demo. That'll probably be the biggest children's demo of the year, and that'll be against sex education. Speeches start at 1:30. Bring a packed lunch. I think they're going to have about 2 to 3 hours there with speakers. They've got some brilliant speakers, so it's worth going to this. So everybody in London, please make your way down there. Try and get a day off. Everywhere around the country, please organise your buses now, your train tickets and wherever else. and please get there, because we need numbers for this one. We've got politicians going in and out of Parliament all day. We can ask questions, we can listen to speeches, and I'm sure we're going to have the LGBT turning up. Because obviously they think it's okay to teach 3-year-olds.
Support us.
Yeah, well,
they'll come to support us.
Well, so do I. So do I. We've also got.
With us.
We've also got on. On the 3rd of June, we got March. There's a non-woke students' uni free speech protest. Basically, what a lot of university students, if they want to debate or they've got a different ideology than the rest, they're not allowed to debate. And some of them have actually been kicked out of university because of their beliefs.
Yes, and they're getting a lot of trouble. Because
they're not following the norm, what these lecturers want you to follow, or the indoctrination of these universities. That's on June the 3rd. That's at 1 p.m. and that's outside 188 Oxford Road in Manchester, folks. You'll see the posters will pop up onto Real News Live News, and you'll be able to see them then. There is another one. Right, folks. This one is for the Neon Newport. This is for the 5th of June. Doors open at 5:45. It's a presentation by PCP Wales. So everything we've been talking about, the RSE, no opt-out for 3-year-olds, they can go into more graphic detail of what kids are being taught in school, where the history of where it came from. There's no holds barred there. I will be doing a live, but it's best if you go there, to be honest with you, because you get to meet Kim, you get to meet the teams.
Yeah. And you know,
brilliant atmosphere.
Once you've seen it, I'm actually away on that date, so I'm not going to be able to make it, but I'm gutted because the presentations are excellent and they're
professional.
They're really professionally done. They're really, really good, the way they're put together. And honestly, once you've seen that presentation, oh my gosh, you cannot unsee it. And you will realize how bad this is. Like, they will explain everything. They will break it all down and they will show you exactly where it all comes from and how damaging this is. Please, if you can get there, go along and support them and go and see what really is going on in schools.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not going to show any more. I don't think I got too much up on there. But so it'll be Saturday. Will be anywhere around the country outside of BBC with your stickers and that and plastering their windows as usual.
And then fun. It's just got to come along. It's great fun.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, the media have actually blocked our views out. They've gone by the propaganda of our government, and it needs to stop. They're meant to be working for us. We're actually paying their wages. We're supposed to be anyway. I'm not paying them, but that's what's meant to be happening. And then Saturday, obviously, we've got Swansea. That's a big no 15-minute city. You need to get to Swansea because we really need you. It will be. I will put it up on Real News Live News. So if you want to see it on there, all the details, you can get it there. And one last thing. Oh, the skate-a-thon's on the 13th of May as well. That's on. We did cover a little bit of it. You basically you've got a pair of wheels. Just turn up on Saturday the 13th of May. It's a 12-hour event.
Can I drive around? No,
you know what I mean. It's the 13th of May. It's a 12-hour event, a sponsor skate-a-thon. We did 24 hours last time. Well, I didn't. I just filmed. But yeah, it's going to be on the Aberavon Promenade in Port Talbot. Bring a couple of packed lunches. You'll have an amazing day. You'll have a great day on the seafront. Also, I want to just show one more thing, and that's the best placard I saw over the weekend.
Don't have wheelies. State the obvious.
Yeah, well, they they probably didn't think they were getting filmed, but obviously I'm walking past, like, do you know what I mean? So
Oh my God.
I thought I don't mind making them famous because they were pretty all right, but obviously our little our little friend Karen, this is our pet name for her now. It's
Boo,
Karen.
Karen, you tweeter, you nasty little woman.
The next time we're outside the Honour Road Cry, I tell you what, I'll get all the football lads chanting, "Hey Karen," do you know what I mean? And we'll start pointing at her, like, do you know
Well, why not? Why not just live up to the name?
Yeah.
Bullies, racist bullies, fascist.
Well, I can't believe what
that song they were singing. And I said to you, because I'd never heard it before, I keep singing it in my head about Hitler. That song, I keep on humming it in my head. And I said to you, what's that about? Do you remember?
Yeah, they our football lads have got a few. I mean, one was about Jimmy Savile, Jimmy Savile's friend or something. They were pointing at him across. There was something like that. I can't remember. You'd have to watch my film, like, do you know what I mean?
Well, they were calling us something to do with Hitler. I forgot.
Yeah, but we were calling them Jimmy Savile's mates or something. Oh, I can't remember what.
It's so childish. It's so childish. But
yeah,
if we don't, they started it. I couldn't.
Oh, here we go. They started it. You're on about Chelsea.
They started. We're finishing it.
Yeah.
No, you have to. It's a nightmare, really, because it's pathetic, all of this. But unfortunately, it's pathetic, all this shouting across the room. It is pathetic, but we've got to do it, because if we don't do it, it's just going to go. They're just going to bring in more and more stuff. They're going to get more and more extreme. That's why we have to try and stop it. And by not enough people turning up to these things, they think that they think they're winning. They think they're winning, and they cannot win because it's about children.
Yeah. Right. Last couple of things. Stop Oil. This is a bit of news. This is one of those Stop Oil protesters in London today. All stopping traffic around London. They were in loads of different places.
Right.
Oh, what a shame. Had their foot run over. Oh, damn shame.
Wonder
That
if it was Karen.
Yeah. That Lucy who was killing babies in a neonatal ward, right?
What?
Do you know what she actually said in court today? She ruined her life because of it. Oh, you were killing babies, love. Do you know what I mean?
Oh my God.
What do you mean? She's suffering from PTSD. What a shame. I just wish the death sentence was brought back. Right, nurses and doctors, 5% offered, but still not enough whilst people die. And it's more than most pay increases. What most people is pay increases. But what they've done, doctors and nurses, I'm sick of being quiet about things like this. You obviously went into that job for money, because you've let people die with appointments being missed, and it's on your head. Doctors and nurses, it's on your head. I don't care if that's the only way you can get extra money. There's different ways of doing it, not by killing people. It's not what your medical oath says. So get back to work and stop this bullshit. I mean, because people are dying because of you. You know, it's just driving me mad. Same as teachers. Teachers were off today. They had a bank holiday yesterday. They decided to do a strike today. The same unions who decided, oh, it's okay for drag queens to go into schools and teach. Crackers.
And the plan is that everybody will end up on universal credit. Basically, it'll be one money. That's the Marxist plan. That's exactly what they're pushing for. They want everybody to be on similar money. So this is all just for show. This is all pantomime, all theatre, and people are fighting for this instead of realising that we're in a much more serious situation. If the teachers were fighting against this education instead of pay rise, and if the doctors and nurses had stood up against the lies that were going on in the hospitals, because there was a lot of lies going on. There was a lot of lies, wasn't there? If they'd stood up for that, there'd be a lot more respect for them as well, I think.
There's no respect for a doctor or nurse anymore.
Very few people have got respect now for these people in these professions. They're losing respect fast.
Well, I'm saying that I'm in front of. It's taken me 18 months to see my consultant because I wouldn't wear a mask.
Yeah.
3 times they cancelled an appointment. They were trying to put the appointment to a different part of the day. They cancelled appointments for over 18 months. Like to me, I'm actually got my appointment tomorrow unless they cancel. We'll see what my consultant does tomorrow because I'm going to be, if I do the stress test, if I'm allowed to do the stress test, exercise test, stress test, I'm certainly going to have my words with him when I have get my results. You know what I mean? Because it's down. If anything happens to me, it's down to them anyway. Doing full stop.
Yeah, there's so many people who've missed appointments. So many people died because of all of this. Anyway, right, I've got to go.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to you. Thank you to everybody who's been watching and sharing, and to the admin. Also to SED who turned up on Saturday in Honor Oak. Also to Liberty Tactics and Kat for coming on tonight as well. It's been a really good show. Thank you for jumping on, Christy.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Phil, and thank you, everyone. We'll get through this.
And I'll see you all probably Saturday, folks, probably on a live somewhere. And enjoy your week. Catch you later. Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Phil.
Okay, picking it up here in Wilmington, North Carolina, right at the Intercoastal. We're in one of these bands.
So that's my side, Dell, in Wilmington, North Carolina. But as he races and fights to win Friday, check out the 2 guys who seem to walk right by him in the background. There's no trouble at all. The video has been shared more than 1 million times on social media. Now it's the
Cruising, losing, looking for some news and losing it's amusing. Other people choosing the topics I can view and the subjects I can chew on, the facts that I can spew and the news they put their slew on. Twisty, turny, wriggly, wormy, squealy, squirmy news. Psychopathic journalists deceiving with their views. Tightening like a tourniquet, they're aiming to confuse. Nightly negative narratives narrating you the blues. Blues and twos, new taboos, the pasta's all sold out. The hurricane's incoming and the world is dying out. Asteroids, blasteroids, steroids in their tails. The windiest ever windy gales are blowing in the dales. The sea levels are rising at a super duper rate. 247 365, the caliphate's your fate. Tidal waves are waving like the death rays from the sun. Duck and cover, stand your ground, there's nowhere else to run.
Now, more on the latest building collapse in New York. You might have heard a few moments ago, I was talking about the Salomon Brothers building collapsing, and indeed it has. Jane, what more can you tell us about the Salomon Brothers building and its collapse?
Well, only really what you already know. Details are very, very sketchy.
Writing, fighting, to publish stuff exciting. Losing it's amusing, other people choosing the posts that I can post and the documents I can read from, the info I can feed from, the facts the checkers get wrong. Sleazy, slimy, geeky, grimy, blackout, soulless tech, concluding with a clickety-click what's wrong and what's correct. Politically encouraged with protection from the law. They're getting pretty ruthless now, they panicking for sure. Scrubbing out the info like a scrubber in a tub, deleting the derogatory of the members in their club. Documents and studies disappear without a trace.